So you got a whole bunch of these. There's the sushi kit, there's a bento kit, like a lunchbox kit, and then there's also these kind of like really super quick and fast, easy cupcake and donut mixes. The donut one's so weird because you don't even cook it. You're just like eating raw dough. It's weird. But I thought for fun I'd show you guys how to make one of these and kind of see how it goes. But I made all these with her all weekend, so it's a lot of fun to make with a kid. You do have the problem of it being really hard to make it look this cool if you're just a kid. So it can be a little frustrating because sometimes things just don't turn out right. They kind of fall apart. If you're in a hurry and you don't, take the time to read the directions, and things kind of turn pretty yucky. So I would recommend definitely have a parent or an adult with you and try to let them kind of guide things along if you're really wanting it to look perfect. If you just want to have fun making it, then it's okay. So, but check out the video after this right now that I'll show you guys of me making that, and then I'll come back to you to show you guys again how it looks and tastes. So I'll see you in a bit. But you can see this is sushi, but actually what it is, it's all like grape flavored kind of gummy candy kind of stuff. Let's open it up and see what's inside here. Open from the side, and you want to take care when you open it because the directions are all on the back, but we can kind of open from the side here. And inside is this nice little pouch, and you want to be careful with this too because like it tells you here, there isn't a real plate for this. It's just really cool because there's a picture of a plate which you can arrange your completed sushi on when you're done. So we want to take care when we open this. There's little scissor marks right at the top to show you to cut there and to cut at the bottom. So this is the piece of paper, all the little plastic bag that was in there all kind of cut out, and so you get that cute little little sushi plate. And like I said, the directions are pretty visual, but it does kind of help if you know Japanese because it's a little tricky to know exactly how much of everything to do. But inside here, this is what we've got. We've got this little pack of what you need, the powder mix for the rice. It says for gohan no moto. And then we have the things to make ikura, which are the little fish eggs. So we have, it says ikura no moto A and ikura no moto B. And then we have the, oh, this is new. Cool. We have shoyu no moto, so we can have a little bit of shoyu if you want. That's going to be fun. And then we have maguro, which is tuna. Tuna, make a tuna sushi. So maguro no moto, and tamago no moto for like tamagoyaki's kind of sushi. So those are all powders that you have to mix with water. And then there's this little tiny piece of black chewy candy. This is kind of like a Starburst kind of chewy candy, if you know what that is. So, and then what we're going to be doing is kind of making that look like seaweed. So that'll be fun. And then inside is a little squeezy thing for water and a spoon. And then all these cool little areas that tell you what to do and where. So we're going to be making like the eggs here and the maguro here, the tuna here, and then make the fish eggs over on this side. And this is where we'll mix up to make our rice. So we'll go ahead and start off by making the rice. And what you want to do is you want to fill up the water area here with water. So I've got water, I'm going to pour it in, and you want to get it to the top of that edge. And this part can be a little tricky, and sometimes you have to do it a few times to get it, and I might not get it right this time either. You know, how water can become convex when you pour it into a surface. So you want to try to get it to a point where the water line is as close to the top as you can get it. And sometimes you might accidentally wind up putting a little too much in, and your rice might be a little mushy, but it still tastes good, so you're good. So then the next thing I want to do is take the gohan no moto that I have right here. I'm just going to pour it in. Just open it up here, and then try to get, of course, all of it into this side. You don't want to mess up and put it on the wrong side, but get that in there. And then you just kind of mix it together. And you can see right as you start off that it's really kind of clumpy. So this looks really like rice, you know, but it is sweet, and it's kind of strange. So that's the rice made right there on the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to make kind of the, it's kind of like a gumi or a jelly, more like a jelly, not a gumi, for the tuna and the egg over here on the side. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the egg and the tuna here. So I'm going to just take the little dropper duty and I'm going to just pour enough water to get to that line that you see in there. So it's a little easier than trying to pour water in there, but I want to just get enough water in there to kind of cover the whole bottom part. And this can kind of take getting used to too, again, because you know, if you make this a little too runny, it kind of turns out a little funky, but it still tastes good, so you don't need to worry about that. But I've got enough water in there, and then I'm going to take that tamago no moto and open that up and pour that inside. This is the egg mix, and it's nice because it's yellow, so it kind of gives you a clue that it's for the egg. The writing on the outside is even in yellow. And then I'm going to take my spoon and just kind of gently mix this together, trying to even out where the powder is. Just kind of smoothly kind of move it along. And then what we're going to do is try to even it out as much as you can. Spread it really evenly and flat. And then we just leave it for a few minutes. It takes about 3 minutes. And it'll be a little harder so that we can use it and cut it and take it out for our egg. Make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Just kind of smooth that out like so. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the maguro or the tuna side here. Get that all nice and kind of lined up there. So while we wait for these things to harden up, what we can do is work on making the seaweed piece. So we need this guy again. So if I pull that out and I take my little piece of black chewy candy that we had here, this little guy here, and you can kind of play with it a little bit and stretch it out if you want. We want to make it to be the same size as you see here, and that can be a little tricky. If you give it a little stretch, it kind of gets a little too white and you don't want it to tear. We want it to be nice and strong. So it really is just kind of getting used to the process and playing around with it until you can stretch it out to be the right size. And I think too sometimes it works good if you don't want to worry about it being, you know, you can't make it a perfect rectangle. There's no way. So what's kind of good is to get it kind of stretched out to be about the right size. And then if you are a perfectionist and you want it to be, you know, exactly even, you can use a knife and cut away the excess here to make straight edges on the tops and bottoms here. So get that nice kind of piece there that will serve as my piece of seaweed for the fish egg sushi when we're done. And then we can go ahead and also work on kind of arranging. If you want, you can eat some of this. What does it taste like? Grape kind of thing. So we've got all this cool rice here, and it feels so weird. It's kind of like, it kind of feels like rice. It's sort of weird. But ideally I'm going to want to have enough because I'm going to be able to make 2 tuna and 2 egg, and also then 1 fish egg one too. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to separate into fifths so that I have what I need here. And there is a little idea, a little like outline here on the bottom of that paper, this little tiny little rectangle, and it says Gohan no okisa, which lets you know like how big you should make your rice, ideally. So you want to try to kind of fit to that and, you know, mush it with your fingers. Don't worry about it getting, you know, it's not sticky. It doesn't stick at all. It's a little, got a lot of elasticity to it though, so you can't really so easily make it into a perfect rectangle, but you want to just try to keep forming it. If you're a sushi making pro, I don't know, maybe it might be a little easier to to make it the right way. But it is small, quite small, so regular sushi is quite much bigger than this, but I'll just go ahead and try to make these little pieces here. So we kind of get these nice little round little balls of rice, kind of little oval in shape, and that should give you all the sizes that you need for the 5 pieces we'll be making. And I'm still waiting for that to harden up, so I'm going to go ahead and make the fish eggs over here on this side. So I'm going to be needing the ikura no moto A and ikura no moto B. So I'll pour, first what I want to do is start off by filling up the sides with water. So I'm going to put enough water in here to get to the lines, and you can either pour or squeeze it in. I think you'll be able to pour it in without too much trouble. Let me see how this goes. There we go. Try to pour up to the lines that you see there in the plastic for both of those, and then I'll just make sure to add the mix. Now the mix that we're putting in here, I'll try to look up and see if I can tell you guys better what this really is. A is actually going to be the kind of like magic potion you need to pour the actual ikura into to make it suspended and to become kind of like a round little ball. And I'm sure there's some scientific chemistry explanation to all this, but yeah, let's get this guy in here really quick. So as I get that poured in there, I'm just going to mix A, make sure that that magic powder is all mixed up in there really good. And then over here for B, I'm just going to mix this really good together. And this is going to be, the consistency is going to be a little thicker than anything else we've made so far. You want to try to get all that powder kind of dissolved and mixed up in there really good. And then what we're going to do is use the dropper to take this mixture and plop it into the magic potion of A over here, and it should make these cool little balls of fish egg. So we get that kind of mixed up like so. All this you can, you know, eat now. It doesn't kill you. So, although I wouldn't recommend probably just drinking A. So we're going to take a little dropper and fill this up with some of my fish egg sauce here. Now the key to this is you don't want to do this, you don't want to drop too close to the surface. If you do that, you're going to wind up getting something that looks like a worm. We don't want that, or like an intestine. Ew, that's nasty. So I drop from a little bit above. And the higher you drop, the bigger the ball might be, but the ideal is about 3 centimeters maybe. So if we just make a little drop, there you go. And it should give you this kind of cool looking, actual real, like suspended bit of basic kind of like a jelly candy there, and that gives us the finished little egg. So you can just go ahead and take the fish egg stuff and just keep dropping these in here to make these little tiny fish eggs. It's really cool. Like, I think I could just spend all day making these guys. So you can try to fill up quite a bit of one area here, and then if you want you can take and spoon them out a little bit before you make some more. And I just put it on this little plastic that you have here. You can kind of set stuff to the side here. I'm just going to go ahead and do the shoyu here that we've got. It's recommended when you mix up the shoyu to go ahead and fill up your little stopper thingy with about half a full amount of water. So fill it about halfway, and then just put that water in one, and then you can pour this sauce in there, and it should give you some soy sauce. We can mix that up over here. I've got that kind of going. And then just to kind of finish things off and put them all together, I'm going to take out these guys here, and you just kind of run along the edge, get one of the sides started. We want to cut right in the middle here, so I'm just going to make a little cut and then try to go ahead and pull this part out. And if you flip it over, it should look kind of like an egg. Isn't that cool? Oh. You just lay that right on top, and you've got your finished little piece of egg tamagoyaki sushi. So I got 2 little tuna and 2 little egg there. And then you can take that piece of that candy that we made and we can wrap it around the rice. So I kind of get something that looks like this with a little bit of a place at the top where we can put the fish egg then in. So if I take my spoon and take the little fish egg I made from before, I should be able to just pour that right on top here. And that gives us cute little ikura sushi as well. Wow, look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? And that should give you then your completed little set of stuff with this kit of, you know, candy-like sushi. And you can suck a little bit of that soy sauce and kind of squirt that on here if you like on one of your little, so it looks like a little bit of soy sauce on top of your fish. But that should give you then the completed toy snack to enjoy. So we just finished making all these guys, and I know I kind of showed you guys on the video, but this is kind of like what it looks like. Isn't that weird? It's so weird. So this is like kind of like a it's kind of the consistency of cranberry sauce, actually. I just realized. And then this is like this weird kind of I don't know how to explain this. There's nothing like this really in America for food. Kind of like a puffy little ball of like a tater tot with no crunchiness, maybe. That might be a way to explain it. I don't know, but it's sweet, so you can eat all this just like it is. And basically it just tastes like grape. Grape candy. But still really cool and a fun thing to make and tasty for kids, I think. Not a gourmet snack by any means, but and then there's also this the little one with the fish egg. I don't know, that's probably too close. The camera might zoom it out, but with a little bit of kind of like this black part is the seaweed that was made from the chewy candy. So another fun thing to make. I thought this part was the best part because making the little fish eggs is a lot of fun, but again, it just tastes like grape. So, but so that was kind of just the fun little tutorial of how to make those, make your own kind of treats that we did today. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to make any comments in this comment section below.